Maybachs have always represented the pinnacle of luxury and opulence in the Mercedes range. While earlier reserved just for their sedans, the Maybach range has now grown to encompass SUVs, a convertible sports car and even EVs, like this one.
This is the Maybach EQS SUV 680 Night Series. The overall design isn't too dissimilar to the standard EQS SUV, but with more bling and of course loads of Maybach branding. Up front, there's the typical Maybach grille with the pinstripes, but they've been given a darkened effect. In fact, all of the chrome on this Night series gets this effect, including the three-pointed star on the bonnet. The headlamps too get a smoked effect, and a cool little detail is the rose gold elements inside them. Then there are the Maybach logos. You'll see them lower down in the bumper, on the 21-inch alloys which are exclusive to this Night series, on the B pillar, C pillar and even on the side step. Are you a fan of all the Maybach logos on the EQS? Let me know in the comments. This Night series also stands out with its two-tone black and Mojave silver paint scheme, and I particularly like this pinstripe that runs the length of the SUV. Out back too, there's more blacked out elements like the badges, tail lamps and skid plate. And the Maybach treatment extends to the interior too.
The cabin is familiar to the standard EQS SUV with this 3-screen layout which Mercedes calls hyperscreen, but of course there are differences that will let you know you're driving the more expensive Maybach version. This Night series, for example, gets this exclusive all-black Napa leather upholstery and this open-pore walnut brown wood panels with this herringbone pattern, and this really helps uplift the cabin, and so does the configurable ambient lighting. The steering is also a very high quality item. Of course it's upholstered in leather, but what I really like is that it has this nice wooden trim around it which feels really nice to hold, and of course you get the Maybach logo as well. The seats also are well padded and supportive, and they also get massaging, heating and ventilation like in the rear. And being a born EV, this cabin is a practical place to be. There's a sizable glove box, there's plenty of storage here under the armrest, and there's also a large cubby here under the center console which is really useful.
Apart from the different upholstery, you also get a deep blue Maybach theme for the instrument cluster.
Now these 3 screens are crisp, super high res, and they do a lot to help the wow factor of the cabin. Also a shout out has to go to the Burmester sound system which sounds absolutely superb. The EQS Maybach, as you expect, has a lengthy features list. So here's a look.
Apart from the ventilated, heated and massaging seats, the panoramic sunroof and much more, a standout feature is the comfort door package. Using this, your chauffeur can open or close all the doors via the screen, so you don't have to get your hands dirty. This is all about luxury after all. Now let's get the show on the road, shall we?
Now of course in the Maybach, this is the seat you want to be in, and it's pure opulence here. The seats themselves are supremely comfortable. They are very well padded, not too soft and not too hard, and I really love this quilted pattern and these soft cushions that they come with, which just really adds to the experience. This is strictly a 4-seater, so it comes with this center console which houses the armrest of course, but if you flip it open you have these fold out tables here. You have a wireless charger and all sorts of charging ports, HDMI ports and those sorts. And then under this wood panel with this lovely herringbone pattern, you have the cup holders for your champagne flutes. Yes, you can have champagne in the Maybach because it has a fridge back here, and it also has dedicated slots for your champagne flutes.
But thanks to the fridge and charging cables, boot space is limited, and it doesn't have a frunk either, so airport trips will require some planning.
Like at the front, here at the rear too, you get 3 screens. There's one each for the rear passenger and one here in the center that controls various functions of the car. These two also control functions of the car, like you can adjust your seat, your massaging, the ambient lighting, the media, and you also get all sorts of drive information of the car. And just everything that you touch and feel is so solid and of the highest quality, and it's something that you'd expect in a Maybach. If you had a tough day at the office and you just want to unwind on your way home, well, the chauffeur package has you covered. What that does is you press this button and this front passenger seat moves out of the way to liberate more leg space. This seat reclines all the way and the leg rest comes up to give you a real first class experience. Then all you have to do is tell your driver to put the car in Maybach mode, which is its most supple mode. Grab a cool drink from your fridge, set your seat massaging and ventilation as you like, roll up the window blinds, put on a movie of your choice with these headphones and just sit back and relax.
With this Maybach being an EV, the cabin is silent and there's extensive work done to manage acoustics, and it all adds up to provide complete calm inside.
Driving the Maybach EQS SUV, and what immediately stands out is the refinement. This is one of the quietest cabins out there. In fact, I can even whisper this whole section to you. Wind, road and motor noise are so well isolated you can not hear them inside the cabin, but you can hear a little bit of the tire noise, and that too is at higher speeds, and it depends on the road surface as well. This has a dual motor setup with one on each axle, enabling all-wheel drive of course.
And the output stands at 658 horsepower and 955 Newton meters.
Which is good enough to take this from 0 to 100 in just 4.4 seconds. Not that it really matters to Maybach owners. So yeah, the EQS SUV does pack some serious performance, but it feels at home at these speeds while you're wafting along, not going too fast, but then you always know that you have enough power under your right foot to make that quick overtake. Like that, and it will really pin you back into the seat. And yeah, it's quite an experience to feel a car this big move this fast.
But what is a downer are the brakes, which lack bite and feel spongy. And with that much power and a curb weight of over 3 tons means that it really deserves better brakes.
What's nice is though that even though this powertrain is potent, it is progressive, so you don't get a full chunk of power in one big go, which can make it difficult to handle. Instead, it feels really nice and easy to drive. And to help matters, you also get drive mode. So there's eco mode, in which this EQS will be its most docile in the interest of efficiency, and then there's sport also, where it will feel the most energetic. But interestingly, this being a Maybach, it also gets a custom Maybach mode in which everything just supples out and becomes really smooth and refined and comfy. And it's in that mode where the Maybach feels its most luxurious. In Maybach mode, the ride really becomes soft and supple, the steering becomes light, and overall it just becomes even more effortless to drive. The ride quality also is really supple and pliant in all drive modes, but especially in that Maybach mode and at lower speeds, it feels absolutely comfortable. It deals with all imperfections on the road with ease. I like the ride in sport mode, where it has that hint of firmness and it makes it feel composed, as opposed to the Maybach mode where it has that little bit floatiness that can creep in. It's not bad at high speeds because it firms up, but at low speeds you can feel more of that side to side and even vertical movement. The EQS SUV already has a pretty good ground clearance, but the air suspension means that you also have a lift function which really helps you clear speed breakers with ease. This is a luxury SUV, so it's no corner cover, but that's not to say that you can't have fun behind the wheel of this car. It still feels composed around the bends. There's not a lot of body roll, interestingly, especially in sport mode. Sport mode will stiffen up the suspension, give the steering a little bit more weight, and it can feel quite entertaining when you're pushing around the bends. This EQS SUV is a big car. It measures over 5 meters in length and it's over 2 meters wide. So yeah, you have to be mindful of driving it, especially in city conditions. But what really helps matters is the rear wheel steering, which is a big boon while taking U-turns and while parking. Now, speaking of the battery, this has a 122 kilowatt hour battery, out of which 118 is usable, and it gets a claimed range of 622 kilometers on the WLTP cycle.
What's nice is that the real world range is similar to the claimed. Speaking of charging, the battery can be topped up from 10 to 80% in just 31 minutes using a 200 kilowatt DC fast charger.
At rupees 2.63 crore, the Maybach EQS Night Series is expensive, especially when you consider the EQS 450 SUV costs half as much. But then the GLS Maybach costs rupees 76 lakh more.
And the EQS manages to deliver an experience on par with, if not better than, that SUV. Some of the Maybach bling may not be to everyone's taste and it needs better brakes, but the Maybach EQS stands out for the ultra luxurious and refined experience it creates. The rear seats pamper you like few others, and the EV is packed with tech and is enjoyable from behind the wheel too. What it is a culmination of Mercedes' learning from its previous Maybach and EQ offerings.